I noticed the other day that some of my first YouTube videos were 3 years old now, and to be honest, a little outdated style-wise. So I figured I can do better. First off was Cinderella's castle. When I first designed this original look, I wanted to mimic Cinderella's dress in the design, and I think I accomplished that. I mixed 1700s European slash French fashion into the mix, but I knew that I could get more historically accurate than my first attempt. For my redraw, I think you can immediately tell that my drawing skills have improved at the very least. One of my friends mentioned that she was surprised that I draw like people are taught to draw, and I guess I knew that I wanted to go for historical accuracy in this redesign. So for Cinderella Castle, I took inspiration from 1700s French fashion, and on a side note, I'd also love to redesign Belle's live action dress in the future to be more historically accurate, but that's a video for another day. I recently had the chance to make a dress for a production featuring Marie Antoinette, so I have a pretty good working knowledge of what dresses in the time period are like. You can tell by the wide skirt and the ruffles down the front. I also lengthened the sleeves a bit to be a bit more historically accurate. I tried to keep the colors I chose for all of the designs originally, just to have a bit of a through line for each design. And now you'll get to watch me obsessively zoom in and out to make sure the lighting is to my liking. And that is it for Cinderella. Let me know what you think. Next up is Epcot, and I apologize in advance because this is the first design that I filmed, and I thought that a time-lapse video would be a great way for me to capture real-time shots. So let me be your cautionary tale. Just film 45 minutes of footage and then cut it down later so you have enough time to draw it. Anyways, for Epcot, this is the only design that I didn't strictly adhere to a time period, although I kind of wish I had tested out what 80s fashion would have looked like. I did find a reference of Ariana Grande wearing this really cool bubble dress, and so that is kind of what I referenced as I was designing this dress. I did like my original design, although it felt really stiff and not really functional. So I used the base of Spaceship Earth as a reference for the bodice. I always think that the mirrors on the bottom base that you walk by look really, really cool, so I wanted to add that into the design. I remember having wanted to do something that dangled on the bottom of the skirt for the first design, but not liking how I drew it. So this time I wanted to add some like beads or some kind of dangly ribbon that would catch the light and imitate the new fountain in the entrance plaza, or the Fountain of Nations, rest in peace. Next up is the Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios, my love, my light, my life. And even though I liked the original design that I did, I couldn't help but be a little / really disappointed in myself. The ideal for both looks was 20 to inspire because the Tower of Terror's heyday would have been in the 1920s before the Great Depression. I like to think that the original design was 20s-ish, but I knew I could have taken it so much more with this look. I referenced flapper dress designs and went with a much more streamlined look to showcase what would have been popular at the time. I kept the rusty orange dress and included the scorch marks that I added in the original design. I still like the idea that this could have been a patron who was unlucky and got trapped in the tower when it got sent to the Twilight Zone. I also think that the burns hint at like something isn't quite right here. And overall, I still think that this is one of my favorite designs that I did. I love the 20s, so anytime I get a chance to create something from that era, I always enjoy it. And finishing off this video is Animal Kingdom and the Tree of Life. So I chose to stick with an influence from Africa because Africa is one of my favorite lands in Animal Kingdom. I love Kilimanjaro. And I can't tell you my exact thought process when thinking up the original design, but I can't imagine it being much beyond, I want it to look like a tree. So this time I looked at preferences of people in traditional African dress, and I know that there are many countries in Africa that I could choose to draw inspiration from. I ended up liking the way that this specific dress flared out below the knee. It kind of mirrored the original design and was definitely closer to what I had envisioned the first design being. So with that in mind, I began the design process. And honestly, I'm really impressed with how this one came out. I went in thinking maybe some kind of ruffled tulle would be used for the skirt and did not know how it was going to look until I started drawing. So good for me, I guess. With that finished, let me know what you think. Which design was your favorite? I'm in between class right now, so I have a little free time to work on some different kinds of videos. There are definitely going to be some more travel vlogs coming up, and who knows, maybe we'll ghost hunt at some point. We'll see. Bye! Does anyone else's throat, like, close up when you talk for a long time? I feel like I'm choking. How do public speakers do this?